Saudi Arabia wasn't built overnight. It was forged through centuries of tribal warfare, a pact between faith and power, and a discovery beneath the desert that would rewrite the course of global history. This is the untold story of how a kingdom rose from the sands to dominate oil, politics, and the future of global power. Saudi Arabia is often seen today as a land of wealth, oil, and global influence, but its journey to power was anything but simple. From desert tribes to strategic alliances, from religious movements to international partnerships, the kingdom's rise was shaped by centuries of calculated decisions and bold leadership. To understand how this desert nation became a central player on the world stage, we need to uncover the untold history behind its formation. Chapter 1. The Desert Before the Kingdom. Long before the skyscrapers of Riyadh, the Arabian Peninsula was a harsh and fragmented landscape. Vast deserts, scarce water sources, and shifting sand dunes made survival difficult. For centuries, Bedouin tribes roamed the region, their lives defined by loyalty to clans, honor, and survival, rather than centralized governance. Tribal alliances were fragile and often broke under the pressure of resource scarcity and external threats. Though they provided little in the way of political cohesion, cities like Mecca and Medina were important spiritual centers. Trade routes carried goods, ideas, and pilgrims, but also conflict, as tribes frequently clashed over water, grazing lands, and caravan tolls. The geography and climate of the peninsula made large-scale governance extremely challenging. Into this volatile environment stepped the House of Saud, a family with ambition and vision. They recognized that to establish lasting power, they would need a combination of faith, tribal loyalty, and military strategy, a formula that would define Saudi Arabia for centuries. Chapter 2. A Pact of Power and Faith. In 1744, Muhammad ibn Saud, leader of Diriyah, formed a historic alliance with Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab, a religious scholar advocating a strict, puritanical interpretation of Islam. According to historians, this pact was revolutionary. Ibn Saud offered military leadership and political authority, while Wahhabism provided religious legitimacy, uniting otherwise fractured tribes under a single ideological framework. This alliance enabled the Saudis to begin uniting tribes and territories, extending their influence across Central Arabia. By emphasizing religious obedience alongside tribal loyalty, Ibn Saud created a system where dissent could be managed and governance enforced. Yet this expansion alarmed the Ottoman Empire, which feared a strong independent state in the Arabian heartland. In 1818, Ottoman forces sent from Egypt destroyed Diriyah, ending the first Saudi state and scattering its people. However, the Saud-Wahhabi alliance endured, influencing subsequent generations. Its principles, like faith legitimizing political authority and loyalty reinforced through ideology, became the backbone of Saudi governance, ensuring the state could rebuild even after devastating defeats. Chapter 3. Black Gold and Global Attention. For decades, Saudi Arabia's economy relied on pilgrimage revenue from Mecca and Medina, modest trade, and small-scale agriculture. But in 1938, American geologists working for Aramco discovered vast oil reserves in Dhahran, one of the largest finds in modern history. This discovery transformed the kingdom from a regional power into a global geopolitical heavyweight. The United States quickly recognized its strategic importance, negotiating a historic deal. American companies would develop oil fields, while Saudi Arabia would provide security and stability in a volatile region. In 1945, aboard the USS Quincy, President Franklin D. Roosevelt met Ibn Saud, solidifying a long-term U.S.-Saudi partnership that would shape global energy markets and geopolitics for decades. This alliance allowed Saudi Arabia to rapidly modernize its infrastructure, improve governance, and secure its borders, while positioning itself as a key player in world affairs. Analysts emphasize that this moment marked the start of Saudi Arabia's dual influence over energy and geopolitics, which continues to this day. Chapter 4. Faith, Oil, and Power Politics. Saudi Arabia's rise combined economic power with religious authority. Controlling Mecca and Medina gave the kingdom spiritual authority across the Muslim world, while oil wealth allowed it to fund mosques, religious schools, and Islamic outreach programs worldwide. This influence extended far beyond the Arabian Peninsula, shaping global Islam and international policy. Yet, the kingdom's close alliances with Western powers, combined with its religious conservatism, made it a target of criticism, particularly from regional rivals like Iran. Internally, the monarchy faced the challenge of modernizing society without undermining religious and cultural traditions, a delicate balance that continues to shape policy today. Chapter 5. Internal Challenges and Reforms. Even as Saudi Arabia's oil wealth elevated it to global prominence, the kingdom faced significant internal challenges. The tribal foundations of the state meant that local loyalties sometimes clashed with central authority, requiring careful governance to maintain unity. For decades, the monarchy balanced traditional norms with the pressures of modernization, from urbanization and education reforms to managing a growing population. Youth unemployment, economic inequality, and dependency on foreign labor all contributed to the push for social and political change. Analysts claim that the implementation of restricted social liberties, such as allowing women to drive and promoting their employment, was a well-thought-out measure to modernize the nation without compromising its religious and cultural roots. In an effort to build a more resilient and diverse economy, the leadership has also stepped up efforts in the areas of healthcare, education, and infrastructure. The long-term strategy to ensure the kingdom's sustainability in a changing world includes these internal reforms. The monarchy continues to maintain political stability and economic prosperity while navigating religious demands, tribal influence, and international criticism. Chapter 6. Surviving Upheaval. Throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, Saudi Arabia weathered wars, oil crises, and shifting alliances. During the Cold War, the kingdom aligned with the US to counter Soviet influence. The 1973 oil embargo demonstrated the kingdom's ability to reshape global economies overnight, highlighting its position as a strategic energy power. In recent decades, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has pursued bold reforms under Vision 2030, aiming to diversify the economy, reduce dependence on oil, and modernize society. Projects like NEOM, a futuristic megacity, illustrate this ambition. Yet analysts caution that rapid change in a deeply traditional society carries risks, and the monarchy must carefully navigate domestic expectations, religious norms, and regional pressures to maintain both stability and global influence. Chapter 7. Tribal Unity and Nation Building. Before the kingdom could rise, Ibn Saud faced the challenge of uniting dozens of independent tribes, each with its own customs, loyalties, and rivalries. His strategy combined diplomacy, marriage alliances, and selective military campaigns to bring tribes under a single authority without provoking widespread rebellion. Religious legitimacy through the Wahhabi alliance helped reinforce this unity, as tribes accepted centralized authority in the name of shared faith. Analysts note that Ibn Saud's ability to balance tribal autonomy with national governance was crucial in establishing long-term stability. This process of nation-building laid the groundwork for modern Saudi Arabia. It created a sense of shared identity, aligned with both religious principles and political loyalty, allowing the kingdom to survive internal challenges and external threats. Even today, the legacy of this tribal unity shapes government policies, social cohesion, and regional diplomacy, proving that the foundation of Saudi Arabia's power was as much about people and culture as it was about oil or military strength. Chapter 8. The Kingdom Today and Tomorrow. Today, Saudi Arabia controls roughly 15% of global oil reserves, making it a key player in OPEC. Its cities are rapidly modernizing, blending technology, culture, and tradition, while its leadership continues to exert influence internationally through diplomacy, investment, and religious authority. The same agreement from 1744 between Ibn Saud and Ibn Abd al-Wahhab can be seen beneath this modern appearance, demonstrating the continuing strength of faith and strategic alliances. It is essential to understand this basis in order to interpret Saudi Arabia's foreign and internal policy. The kingdom's story is not just about oil, but about ambition, resilience, and strategy in one of history's harshest landscapes. As the world shifts toward renewable energy, one pressing question emerges. Can Saudi Arabia maintain its influence when oil is no longer the ultimate currency of power? The sands of Arabia have witnessed empires rise and fall, yet this kingdom endures through faith, strategy, and vision. Its history is a blueprint for global power in the modern age. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, hit like and subscribe to explore more untold stories that shaped our world.